Okay, so this week we are going to talk about the second money block that you probably didn't know that you have. So this one might sound a little bit counterintuitive, but if you are pushing and not allowing. So let's explain this a little bit. So have you ever been told or heard the phrase, or maybe you felt that if I just do a little more, then I will earn the money that I want. If I just push a little harder, if I just work a little more, if I just, I can sleep when I'm dead, or whatever, all of those awful phrases that come with the hustle, the grind, the work really hard and never take a break culture that sometimes we can get ourselves caught up into in this society, in this, this world that we are currently living in. So the thing about this is that if you are pushing so hard, because again, you're going back to that first week, if you're striving really hard and you're holding on really tight to that goal and you think it's all on you and your actions, and we're focused only on the actions that we're taking, and we think if we can push even harder, then we can make it happen, you are actually repelling the abundance that you desire. You are pushing it away instead of pushing it towards you. There has to be this balance between that masculine and the feminine energy. So action is necessary, but if you are not aligned with your mindset, your emotions, your vibration, if all of these other things are not aligned, then you can push all day long. You can go forever, 24/7, never take a break, never sleep, never rest. It's not going to come to you, or it will come in small amounts, but it's not going to be the flow, the abundance, the ease, the amount of money that you actually desire. So by doing that, by working so hard, you're actually pushing away the good that you want. You're pushing away the money that you want. So what we need to be able to do is to allow it to come to us. But how do we do that? What does that mean to you? When somebody says to allow the money to come to you, what is the first thing that comes to mind there? What do you think about? Does it mean just sitting there doing nothing and allowing it to come? So it's not that. We do have to take action, but it has to be aligned action. So when you go back to the first week where we talked about how you have to want and desire it, but to not hold on too tight, right? To release that outcome, to not be so attached to it that you want it so badly, right? So we want it, we desire it, but we release it. And so if you can rest in faith, the trust and the knowing that everything that you desire was put on your heart for a reason. If you desire increased amount of money, there's a reason for it. So you are meant to have it, right? It's not that you desire it because you're greedy or whatever the case is. So if you desire that increased money, it's there for a reason. You need to trust that this specific amount was put on your heart because you're supposed to do something with it. Right? There's an impact you're supposed to make. There's somebody you're supposed to help, whether it's yourself, your family, the greater good, who knows what it is for you. But there's something you're supposed to do with that. So that amount of money has been placed on your heart for a reason. That desire is there for a reason. So now we need to understand that it wouldn't have been put there if you weren't meant to have it. Okay? So if you can believe that, if you can rest in the faith and the knowing that it's there for a reason, you're meant to have it, and it will come to you. You just have to allow it to come. Because if you force, if you push, if you strive and hustle and grind and do all of those, was just saying it sounds awful. You do all of that, you're actually pushing it away, right? You're kinking the hose. So I want you to imagine that there is just this great abundance. There was actually a beautiful analogy in a book that I'm reading right now, and I wish I had it right in front of me so I could read it to you, but it's Ask and It Is Given. So I highly recommend this book. It's wonderful. But they're discussing how if think about this well-being, right? So well-being and however you want to think about it, but it is a constant flow. There is a constant well-being. It is always coming to you. So it's just like that with the money, the abundance. It is always coming to you unless you resist it. So when we resist the ability for it to come to us, that is what is going to block it. So we have to be very careful and understand what we are putting out, right? So the pushing, forcing, striving, grinding, hustling is actually putting a kink in the hose of the abundance that is trying to come to you. So we have to remain open and aligned to that abundance so that it actually can be received. So often it's just us, right? There's no off switch to the abundance that is there for you, right? It's an infinite supply. There's no switch off. But we can block it from coming in. Okay, we do that ourselves with the thoughts that we think, with the actions that we take, with the vibration that we're in. We put a block and a stop that is not allowing the flow to come to us. So what I want you to think about is really sit and maybe analyze what actions are you taking every day as you're striving for or you're trying to receive more money. So look at if it's your own business. What are the actions that you're doing in your business every day? Every time that you sit down to do that action, what is your state before you take action? Are you taking tremendous amounts of action all day, every day, working as many hours as you can, hoping that something will stick and it'll come to you? Or are you taking purposeful, aligned action that is open and that you are allowing in a relaxed state to receive that money in exchange for the services you're providing, right? We've talked before on this channel. If you haven't seen it already, there is a video about the law of compensation, which states that a few things. But for one, money is an exchange. It's an exchange for services provided, right? So if you want an increased amount of money, you need an increased value of the service you're providing, okay? So just as a basic nutshell. So how are you taking action every day? Are you doing tons of things because you were told that you need to? Again, if you have your own business, are you doing all the tasks and activities that everybody says you're supposed to do, but you're doing them just because you're supposed to, not because you want to share, give value, help people, whatever it is that your service is, right? So how are you providing your service? And how can you do it in a way where you are aligned and open and that you are allowing everything to take place? So we have to get to this place of trust, complete trust and faith. When you can rest in the trust, the knowing, the faith that the good that you desire, the money that you desire, is already on its way to you. So I want you to sit and imagine that for a second. So if you want, let's say it's $50,000 a month to come to you, maybe through your business. We'll just keep that example. So if you want $50,000 a month to come to you through your business, sit and think about what that would feel like. What emotions will you have when you are receiving a consistent $50,000 a month through your business? And I want you to just rest in that state. Make sure that you are fully aligned there. You are relaxed when you're taking action and you are allowing it to come to you. You cannot force or hustle your way to these larger dollar amounts. So I want you to really think about what you're doing throughout the day. See where you are pushing too hard where you think that if I just do more, it'll happen. If I just work harder, it'll happen. Because that is the wrong way to think. And this is exactly what we do as well with our coaching, is to help you understand how to change your thinking so that you can open the hose and the floodgates to all the abundance that you desire. Because it's right there waiting for you. It's waiting for you to trust with faith, relax, and allow it to come to you. So stay tuned, because we have more blocks coming next week. So be sure to like and subscribe so that you get the updates when the next videos are uploaded and you don't miss any of these really important blocks that you may not know that you are putting out there and stopping the abundance that you desire. So until next time, expect prosperity.